good evening. Welcome again to our JavaScript session. And today we are going to cover a very interesting topics that are loops and functions, as you can see on your screens. And these concepts help us to write like very much like lengthy code into basically it's follows the principle of dry. And I will tell you everything. Don't worry, it's going to be a very interesting session. And let's start. So for starters, let's assume I want to print number from 1 to 10. Okay, let's assume this case that I want to print everything from 1 to 10. So what's the solution? I have to use like console log dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 10. So as you can see, it's not a very good approach to write each and everything. So for that, let's hope so we got our correct output. Let's see. So let me refresh and okay, so we got output from 1 to 7, and I'm so lazy that I couldn't even write from 1 to 10. So these are the things that we can tackle by using loops. As the name suggests, loops are just repeating of a code. Okay, so let's first let me make a simple loop, and later I'm going to explain you everything step by step. Its loops are very much easy. Just follow my lead and you can revisit this video again. So by just these two lines of code, here I have printed everything from 1 to 9. Let's print from 1 to 10. Let's us print everything from 1 to 10. Okay, here we are, and see, we got everything from 1 to 10. So what actually this part is, like this exact code. So it's called a for loop. Okay, and what for loop is, about the loops, everything written inside these two brackets, these two curly brackets, is going to be repeated multiple times. And for how much time they are this part of code is going to be executed is defined by these conditions. So we first need to understand these three conditions, and after that that just basically the code inside it is just a simple basic code that we are doing till now. So we all we have to know about is how I am defining exactly what is the code syntax for a for loop. So now for loops are just to repeat a part of code. Okay, repeat something or a part of code. Basically, it's just loop. So let's start here. The we In this bracket, this particular bracket, first we have to write is obviously use the keyword for, and use these two simple brackets, and then use two curly brackets inside this everything will repeat thing, don't mind my spelling, will repeat. Okay, and inside these two brackets, here we have three particular part. Okay, and all parts, these two parts are divided by semicolons. In first part, first part, here we initialize the starting value from where we have to start our loop. For that, just initialize a simple variable with a value of 0 or anything like 11, 10, but for now we are just using 0. So start our loop from I equals to 0, then repeat our code until and unless our I is lesser than 11 or 10. Basically our I is lesser than 11, and after each repetition just increase the value of I. And here you can see we can just write it like this. Okay, so now we can see start our loop from I equals to 0, and repeat our loop until and unless our I is lesser than 10, and after each repetition just increase my value, like initialize I equals to I plus 1. So this part is going to increase the value of I from 1, and here inside the code we are just logging the value of I. Okay, or when hello, let's use the hello word here. And just by this simple basic line of code, we got the output of hello 10 times. Here you can see we are getting 10. 10 is basically we are getting same output 10 times. Let me do I here. so that you can easily understand. Let me refresh it, and we got hello 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So that's what actually loop is. It's a for loop. And for let's dig deep inside this loop, and let's understand each part one by one on a in a little bit more with explanation, but little more explanation. So this part, basically this part is called initialization part, and this basically runs once. This part is going to be run once when the loop is starting. Okay, so this part is just going to be run once. For that I can just show you here. I can just, don't get confused, I'm just trying to make you understand each and every part. Initialization part, in it part for us. And this code, basically this part, is going to be checked each and every time until and unless loop is terminated. So after a single iteration, it's going to check whether I is less than equals to 10 or not. For let's assume, let me remove this. So let's assume I is 0, then this, and it's going to check if I is less than 10. Yes, I is less than 10. Okay, run this part. Once this code is executed, then it's going to come here, and let's change the value. So after each repetition, this part of the code is going to be executed again. So by using this, so this part is going to execute once when the loop is starting. This part of code is checked before loop is starting, like every time before repetition is starting, this part is going to be executed. And if the value of this part is this expression is true, then and only this code is going to be executed. If the value here is false, this code is never going to be executed. For now, let's start. I have just written false here, and let's see if loop is executing or not. Let me console log here, end of loop. Let's see. In our console, loop never literally never started. Why? Because in start just we provided the second parameter with the value false. That's why. Till, and if I just wrote true here, this loop is going to be in an infinite loop, because this condition, until and unless this condition is true, the loop is going to be executed again and again. So that's why we just provide a simple value. And here we are just incrementing the value of I, and with the shorthand we can just use I plus plus. So here we are just using I plus plus to increase the value of I by 1. So, and I plus plus is operator, plus plus is operator that just increase the value of anything by 1. And here we can see we got our simple loop. Okay, please do yesterday's assignment, Arun. Okay, we are going to do yesterday's assignment. Don't worry. Can't find the assignment on the community group, sir. Can you send the assignment link? You will get the like. Please check it again. You are going to get the assignment link. But there was no assignment for the day 2 because it was very starting. But there was assignment for day 3, and you can visit the link group basically to get the assignment there. And what is I plus plus? Okay, okay, yes, I plus plus and I equals to I plus 1 are the same. Basically it's just a shorthand for increasing the value of I just by 1. I think my video is stopped. No, it's working. Okay, what, you can just check the community group. Okay, good evening sir, good evening, good evening, good evening. Let's start. There is no day to assignment. There was no day, so day to assignment. Okay, let's start. So I hope you understand the concept of very simple basic loop. So here it is. And I plus plus, I'm just increasing the value of I with 1 by 1, like by 1. And let's make a simple loop to print the table of, like table of any number. Okay. And after that, I'm going to give you assignment regarding this. So please focus. Let me make a variable with number 4, and here my task is to print the table of 4. So I'm just going to do, let me just console.log, and here I'm going to do, so by using this I have just printed the table of 4. Okay, 4 multiplied by 0 equals to 4 1 is 4, 4 2 is 8, and 4 9 is 36. We have to use less than or equals to. So we are going to check whether I is less than or equals to 10, and then we are going to get a value for table till 10. Okay, Let's understand this code and let me remove this complicated part. Let me use very simple. So here, what I'm just using 4 plus, I hope you remember this plus operator, 4 plus 4, I think 4 multiply by 4 plus value. Here I'm going to use star. Here I'm just concatenating the strings. Here I have just concatenated the string 4 plus this start star string, the I plus equals to, and here I have just multiplied the value of 4 with I. So in the first case I is going to be 0, so 4 multiplied by 0, we are going to get here. Let me just remove this part so that you can easily understand. So for the first part, we are going to get 4 multiplied by 0, then 4 multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to repeat till the value of I is lesser than or equals to 10, and we got this. And to make it little bit more beautiful, I have just used this string concatenation so that we got this particular table of 4. So we can get the table of any number, like here I'm just using 14, so we are going to get the table of 14. Okay, so this is the loop, and we have three types of loop. This is called for loop. This is the first kind of loop. We have three kind of basic loops. Then we have three, I think two types of more little bit advanced for loop. So this is called for loop. Then we have a while loop. Okay, another loop is called while loop. And what's the difference between while loop and for loop? Okay, for that, let me make a simple while loop. It's same as for loop. It's but only the difference is in syntax and in the value in this particular expression. Okay, so let me make let I equals to 0, and inside this we are going to increase the value of I by 1, and here we are going to same output from 0 to 9. Let me make it greater than lesser than equals to, otherwise we are just going to get value from 0 to 10, 9. Okay, so here we are going to get 0 to 10. So what's the difference? Let me, for your understanding purpose, let's just convert this for loop into while loop. Okay, to convert a for loop into while loop, just pick out this particular first expression statement, sorry, first statement, and put it in outside of that for loop, just before it, and pick the last statement and write it inside the block, inside this braces, and instead of for, just write while. So here we have converted a while loop into a for loop into a while loop. Only difference is in this while loop we only have the second parameter of the for loop. We don't have the initialization part, and we also don't have the increment part. So we have to just use these two part inside and outside of the loop. So the difference in for loop and while loop is very subtle. Only the statements are different, and everything rest is same. So we have let me change for loop into while loop again for you. Okay, so it's a for loop. Just pick out this first statement, cut and paste it above the loop, and just cut the last statement, that was I equals to I plus 1, I equals to I plus 1, and cut it and keep it inside the loop and remove this colon, and instead of for, just write while, and here we got a while loop, and it's same as for loop. Okay, so and we are going to get the same output, and let's see, we are going to get the table of 14. Okay, let me 14, we got the output of 4. Okay, 14, 1410 is 140. Okay, great. Sir, the exam will be in which pattern? Please do ask this question in a community group. You're going to get answers there only. In while we have to use increment operator. Yes, we can use the increment operator. We have here inside the loop. We can use. Where is the assignment? Please check community. Okay. Okay. Nice explanation. Thanks, Raj. Can I upload the assignment together? Deadline assignment. Can I upload all assignment together? Okay, yes, I think you can submit all the assignment together, but then you have to make all the assignment together. Will you be able to make all the assignment in a single day? Mm, but don't join community group every day, just visit it. Okay, now moving to another group loop, and that is do while loop. Okay, and let me just change this exact loop into basically do while loop. Okay, for that just make let me convert. Let's first make a do loop, do loop. Oh yeah, okay. So for that, do, and here we have to increase and just write while. Okay, so it's do while loop. Okay, so basically it's a do while loop, and we are going to get exact same output, but there is a very subtle difference between do loop and while loop. Okay, let me just, okay, it was an error because I have commented out I value of I also. We got very same output, and let's convert our while loop into do while loop. For that, just cut this part, the while part, and keep it in after your loop. Okay, and instead of while, just write do, and voila, you have completed the do while loop. Okay, so only difference between these three loops are of syntax only, and you can use uh, any loop as of it depends on you what kind of loop you want to use. But there is a very simple difference between while loop and the do while loop. Okay, for that, let me make the condition here false. And as the condition is false, this part of code is never going to be executed, isn't it? So for that, if the condition is false, this part is never going to be executed. Let's make initialize the value of I as 11. Okay, so now the value of I is 11. Now it's going to check either I is lesser than or equals to 10. No, obviously 11 is greater. So this part is never going to be executed. For that, let's try. Let's check, and let me print here end of loop, end of program, anything. And here we got end of program because this condition is false, already false. So that's why this code is never going to execute. But what happens in the case of do while loop? So let's first convert this loop into do while loop. For that, cut this part and write it after your curly brace, and instead of while, just write here do, and let's save it. And in this case, we got our literally we got our output, one output. Why? Because in the case of do while loop, even if the condition is false, even if the initial condition is false, this code is going to execute once. After that, it's going to check the condition. So first this do while is going to uh, do it's okay. So first it's going to execute this part of the code, and after that it's going to check the condition. That's why even if the condition is false, even if I write false here, this code is going to be executed once, no matter what happens. So let's see. So we got our output here once, just once, and after that it's so, oh my god, the condition is false. And in the case of while loop, it's never gonna happen. If the condition is false even in the first case, it's going to just end the program. So that was all about the all three kind of loops. And we have loop on arrays also, that I'm going to cover just right now. Before that, okay, just cover the loops over the array. So we can loop over the array also. How? For that, we are going to use a different what we say, a different species of for loop. Okay, for that, let's make an array. Let arr. Okay, so here is the array, and we are going to do for let x in arr console.log x. And let's see what is the output we are getting. First use of, after that we are going to use the in. Okay, so there is a loop that's called of for of. That's basically the name of this loop is for of. And you can also check it is in the official documentation for of loop in JS, and here you will find in the W3 school there is a loop called for of and for in, and right now we are just doing for of where it is. Okay, for of loop, it's called for of loop. Why? Because this loop is going to iterate through anything that is iteratable. What is this iteratable? Anything that have multiple elements. And what have multiple elements? Array have a multiple elements. So in so for that, let's understand this part, because rest is same as for loop. Everything is same as for loop. This part and this part, only difference is in this part, basically the condition part. Here we have just used let x of arr. In this case, in the first iteration, it's going to pick out the value of I, basically arr, and its first element, and x is going to be its first element for the first iteration. So x is going to be 1 in first loop. After that it's going to be 2, after 3, 4 and 5, and that's how it's going to be executed. And for that we can just check our console. Let me open my console. Here you can see we got the output 0 1 2 3 4 5. Why? Because this loop is looping over this array and picking out each and every element one by one, till array is finished, and just looping over it. So this, it's called for of array. Okay, for of array. There is also a loop that's called for in, and basic difference between these two are for in is basically used for objects, and in the case of array it's going to give the index of these. So we can just make array of names, John, Jane and Joey. So let's use the for loop first. Of sorry of, and here we are going to get each and every name, John, Jacob, Jingle, Heimer, and what is this name? Whatever it is, let's ignore. Okay, so in the case of, we are getting each element, and in the case of in, let's see what we are going to get. We are going to get the index of each element. So we got the index 0 1 2 3 4, and to access this element we can simply just use arr, and inside this bracket we can use x. So by using this we can access this name. So basic differences between in and of is, in the case of for in loop we are going to get the index of each element, and in the case of for of loop we are going to get each element. And okay, so here we are going to conclude all the basic loops. Okay, and also in the case of for in, it's also used to iterate over the object. I hope, let me must first tell you about object real quick. So till now we have known about the data types, and what were the data types? A equals to 10, it's an integer data type. Let str equals to, and it was a data type of string. And we also know about there was a data type called boolean, and the value of boolean is equals to basically true or false. True or false. So it's also a data type. There is also kind of data type, and that's called object. And what is object is? Object is collection of variables, basically. Okay, object is collection of variables. Let me check our live chat once. Using loop to traverse through an array. Using loop to traverse an array, we can use loop to traverse through an array, but there is a basic actually we have many ways to loop over an array. So looping by using a for loop, simple for loop or do while loop is also possible, but that's not very recommended, because already we have different functions to do exactly that thing. So that's why we just go with the for of for loop. And also we have for each and map. These are the, and for that you have to visit our website, and do get enrolled in our course, and there you will going to know everything about like JavaScript, machine learning, AI stuff, and data science. So much of courses we have in our library. So go and check, and there I'm going to teach you every day. We are going to get cover each and every advanced topic, and there you are going to make real projects, like genuine real projects, because it's just a basic session about the essentials. And for making something helpful and to get land a job, you have to know each and everything, and that's not possible in 5 days. So please do go to our website and get enrolled in any kind of our job sorry, course. And there is everything according to your requirement, from AI to machine learning, Python, complete web development, full stack development. So okay, so that was it. What is the difference between let and const? uh, what's your name? I think. Hey Archana, basically problem is the difference between let and const is I think it out of the scope of this session. The basic difference is about the scoping. So for that I have to explain you what is scope, and also about there is a difference about scoping, and where is also difference, because where let's just get written into the global context. And so these are the things that are advanced. So that's why I'm not telling you what is the basic difference between let and where. And const is simply as that the value of const cannot be changed. It's the differences of if you know about the scope. So the only difference is about that let and const are block scope, where is functional scope. And also about there is a subtle difference in the hosting. So the hosting is also a deep concept. Like structures, if you uh, okay, can I use code sandbox yeah, sure, just share the link properly, and you can use anything as you like. Why not we use um I think Saurav Ghosh, yes, we can use I plus equals to 1. That is also correct, very correct. But if we have something that's very easy and widely accepted, so in coding practices we try to use code that is being used by everyone. So let's assume you and me, both are in same team, or a new person is going to join our team tomorrow or next day after tomorrow. Then we have to write a type of code that the newcomer can also understand. That's why we just follow the best global practices that everyone use around the community, a community of coding community. That's why we are using I plus plus instead of I plus equals to 1. That is also correct anyways. Sir, use VS Code is slightly different. How? Oh, I use extensions for that. I have modified it according to my requirement. Okay, so we have completed the loop over array and all the basic kind of loops. And let's move on to our next topic, and that's is function. So what function is actually? So let's assume a use case where I want to add two numbers, or let's assume I want to make a square of a number. Okay, so let me make a variable let number. Let num1, and I want to just add a square of a number, like s square, and it's num multiply by num, and and the number is 4. And by this I can get the square of a particular number. Okay, and we can check our output. So let me refresh it, and we got 16 here. So we got 16 here. And what this 16 is, it's just a square root, and a square is multiplying same number with itself. So what if I want to make a square of 5? So I have to make another variable 2, and its value is going to be 5. And let me square it. SQ2 is equals to num2 multiplied by num2. And gradually we are facing a simple problem that I have to write each and every line of code again and again, again and again. And for that, you can easily see that most of the code is same. if I'm just changing it from 5 to 6, and this is 3, and here is 3, and here's 3. Okay, 3. So here you can see we are repeating code again and again, again and again. So that's a basic violation of a principle, then that's called dry principle. And what is dry? DRY, don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself. That's a very basic rule, thumb rule of a programming, that don't repeat yourself. So if there is a line of code that is going to be executed and used multiple times in our code, just make a function. And what is function? That we are going to learn now. So let me make a function. What is function? Function is a block of code that we can use again and again by with different values. Okay, a block of code in which we can change that values, and it is going to give us some output. So function is like a very small program. For and how to make a function, let's understand the syntax first. For that, just make a use the key token or keyword function, and after that name your function. You can name it anything. Now I'm going to name it hello, and just use these brackets, parenthesis after that, after your name, and make two curly braces, and inside this curly braces, so this is your code. Okay, so this is your code that's going to execute it when we are going to call the function. And what is calling the function? Once you have make a function, so here we have just made a function. I am initialization something like declaration of function. Let's just make a declaration of function, because I don't know the spelling of initialization. It's why it's wrong. Declaration की भी गलत लिख दी यार. ठीक है. हाँ. Now we can call the function as much time as we want. So if I'm going to call the function, and this is how we are going to call the function. To call a function, just name your write the name of your function and use to these brackets. Okay. Let me save it, and let's see in our console what we are getting. So we get hello world. Why? Because when we called our function, this function executed everything inside these two curly braces. And we can call a function as much as time we wanted. So here I am counting, calling my function again and again. And let me refresh. So here we got our hello world output 5 times. Why? Because I have called my function 5 times. So this is basically the concept of function. So let's make a function that is going to going to make number squared. And before that, let me make you understand one more topic, and what's this called? A function can take some parameters. And what is this parameter? Let's name a parameter num, or anything. You can name anything here, and this is called parameter. And what are parameters? Anything that you are going to pass here. So if I have passed 5 here, number is going to be 5, and I can use this number inside this block. And let us see what we are going to get in our output. Let me see. Okay, so we got hello world 5. Why? Because I have called this hello function with a parameter 5, and you have to mention this parameter here. If I have never mentioned the parameter, I'm not going to be able to use this parameter, even if I have passed the parameter from here. See, here I got nothing. No matter I have passed here something 5 or 6, I can pass as much as parameters I want, and this could be anything of that type, string or anything else. So here, but I haven't used these parameters in my function here, so I can't use these values. So use this value, just make your parameters here. And there is a catch: always use the sequence, keep the sequence of parameters and arguments same. And what is argument? Let me make you understand. Okay. Okay, so these are called the parameters, and everything that we pass from here are called arguments. Okay, so all what we have to keep in our mind, that the sequence of these things should be same. So the num is going to be 4, and here we are going to get my name str, and it is going to be my name. So this is what I wanted to explain you. And let me open my console, let me refresh it, and we got hello world 4 and Sanjay. So why? Because we have passed these arguments in these parameters, and we got this particular, and we can use this parameter inside our code as much as time we wanted. And we can call a function by changing the parameter. I can just change my parameter. Okay, and so as I have changed my parameter, the output is also going to change. Let me refresh. See, we got different output for different parameters. So that's the basic use of a function. And by using the power of function, we can make small functions for almost anything. So now let's make a function to square. Okay, so we are going to name square it. The name of function is square it, and it's going to take a number, simple number, as a parameter, and it's going to log the output. Okay, let me remove this and this here. Sometimes autocorrects makes your life difficult. Okay, so now I have made a function called square it, and we can just call this function with a particular number like 14. And let's use it again. And let me square of number is, okay, the square of number colon is number multiple number. Okay, let's check. And here I'm going to use 24 and just see. So we got square of number 14 is 196, and square number of 24 is 576. So basically this is the power of function. We can make a function and we can use it as much time as we want. So this is a function basically is. And here I want to explain one more concept to you, that function not only accepts some value as a parameter, it can also return a value. To return a value, you just have to use the keyword return inside a function, and any value that you want to return. Okay, so here this function is going to execute a code here. For that, let me make let square equals to num multiply by num. Let me remove this, and I can return sq from here. And if you're finding this session, like today's session, little faster, you can repeat it again. I think it's on YouTube for a while, so you can check it. So here we are just returning the square of number and for that we have to store the result. And to store a result, we do need a variable. So we are initializing a variable that is equals to anything that this function is going to return. So after the execution of this function, it's going to return the sq. And what is this sq? Sq equals to number multiply number. In this case, number is 14. Why? Because we have this argument and this parameter here. So 14 multiply 14 is going to be our sum, like let's assume uh, 196. So 196, and it's going to return 196. And after that, after the return, it's going to throw this 196, and result is going to be 196. Okay, so this is the output we are going to get after the execution of this particular code. And for that, let us check console.log res. And here we are going to get 196. Okay, so this is how we can also return something from a function, and we can perform anything, and we can perform loops, our conditional statements, everything inside this function. And for the yesterday's assignment, I'm going to make a function to check that email and password. Data type in the parameter. No, you don't have to mention the data type in parameter. But, it's a thing of TypeScript. Sir, please say tab 9. Please use tab 9 extension. Oh my God, you are the guy who wanted to know my extension from the day one. It's tab 9 and GitHub Copilot, but you have to wait for it to get the access of your that extension. Okay. Okay. So now my attendance mark. Like C++, there are any built-in function for what? Okay, so I'm gonna do VS Code theme is material theme. Okay, oh my God, it's material theme high contrast. Please take a screenshot of this. You have asked about this a lot of time. Okay, just let me change my theme. I have a cooler theme. Wait. Uh, 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 Noctasius. I think that's the best theme I have. Let's go with one dark. Okay, so I like this theme also. Okay, so I'm gonna do the yesterday's assignment now. For that, let's make a variable const email equals to prompt what's your email address and const password what is the password. ठीक है. Now I'm just gonna use if email is equals to stu at the rate let's upgrade .com. Okay, let's upgrade.com and password is equals to 1234. I'm going to alert welcome, or else I'm just going to alert access denied. Okay, so that was the assignment, and let's check. Let me refresh. So what's your email address? stu at the rate let's upgrade.com. Okay, what's my password? 12345. Okay. Oh my God, मैं मतलब यार गलत पासवर्ड डाल गया, sorry. Let me copy paste it everything. stu at the rate letsupgrade.com. Let me copy and paste it. And what was our password? 1234. Okay, so it was just 1234. And okay, so we got welcome. So that was our yesterday's assignment. If do we have to mention the data type? No, you don't have to mention the data type. Subscriber only. So, and to learn a more advanced concept, please to get enrolled in our complete full course. And for that, just visit our website. We have everything related to machine learning, to web development, to program development, everything you can imagine. We have everything for that, and you're going to get uh, be it just, for the web development, I'm going to be your instructor, and in the personal classes, I'm going to explain you every advanced concept in your it's going to be a more fun there because it's a classroom, and there we just behave like as a as a team. So, and there is no boundaries in our classes. Why did you use triple equals and not double equals? Look, it's a good practice to use the triple equals because it's basically it's going to also check the type of this particular basically string. So there is a difference between double equals to and triple equals to. So again, I'm telling you these concepts are a little bit deeper. And if I'm going to explain you each and every little details, this session is going to be about 4 to 5 hours long. Here we are just here you have to learn about all the basic stuff, all the basic thing, how actually things are working, like this if else statements, loops, and these concepts are mostly common in each and every programming language. If you understand these things, and you can think how to write code, then my friend, you can be a good developer. And in array, how to insert element at a specific position. For that you have to use, I think there is a function for that, and also you can just insert Okay, let me show you, and let me make, and let array like 3 equals to hello. Okay, so it's going to change the value of 3 to hello. So in this case it's just going to change the value here. Okay, and by using prompt, I'm using prompt to get the user input. Okay, uh, otherwise there is no anything, just to get the user input. That's why I'm using prompt here. Prompt is a built-in native, it's like a built-in thing that enables you to take you data from basically users. So let me make one at the rate email.com, and the password is going to this, and here I just got access denied. Now we are going to convert this particular code into a function. For that, let's convert this code into a function. For that, let's comment it out, and here we are going to make a function login. Okay, login is going to name of function, and here we are going to check, and here we are just going to write all this code inside this. Now this particular line base code is has been into in a function, and we can call this function. Okay, just see. So everything is going to work as previously, uh, and here's one of thing, I just got access denied, and basically so I can call this function as much time I wanted to. So I use this example to make you understand this. You can write any kind of code inside this function. There's no limitation. You can make function. You can define some variables inside a function. You can make use your if else statement inside function. So that was the reason I have used this example here. And you can call that function also inside the function. So it's a little bit advanced concept. So if my password is wrong, it's going to ask me my about my password again. So let me see if my password is wrong, it's going to ask me my email and password again and again, until and unless I provide it with the correct email and password. This is called basically recursion. And again I'm telling you, you have to see, I got welcome and loop is over. So it can be used to like let me make an example here. So let's us assume here is very secret key here. Okay, a very secret thing. Okay, so here we got a very secret thing. Let me refresh. So until it's going to ask me my email and password, and if I provide it with the correct email and password, I got welcome, and I just got the very secret key. And if I provide it with, let me just wait a second. Okay, if else, okay, what's your email? And 1 2 3 4. So welcome, and I got a very secret thing here. And if my password is wrong, like if my password is wrong, it's going to ask me like what is your email and password, until and unless I provided with the correct password. So basically these are the some uses of functions. Here with you the use of function, you can make very complicated things. Okay, a very secret thing. JavaScript to generate email and password. Why? Can we use the form in HTML? Yes, you can use the form in the HTML. For that, you have to use the document query selector and all that we are going to cover tomorrow. And we are going to also make a very like a good project tomorrow. So please be in the session tomorrow. We are going to make a real world project. I think I just stopped my stream here. Okay. Okay, moving on. So, and I want to make you understand about one more thing about the function, that there, as there was loop and like we have while loop, for loop, do while loop, for in loop, and for loop. I think for in and for off loop are of different category, but those three loop, the for loop, while loop, and do while loop, those loops are almost similar. Only difference was the in the syntax. Similarly, we also have functions, and we can define a function using different kind of syntax, and there is little bit difference in all these three kind of. So this kind of syntax is old, is used in older JavaScript, and it's basically ES5 syntax. Now we just use arrow functions. JavaScript has introduced a new concept of arrow functions, and there is a difference in arrow functions and hello one level 2. So it's basically both are functions, and both are going to be perform same action, like they're going to work exactly same, but there is a difference in both of them about the scoping and all. But let me just show you. See, so somehow you see this thing, so don't get confused, it's also a function. And how to make a arrow function? Just use const or let, anything in case you want. For mostly in the case of function, we are going to use const, and name your function my function equals to end brackets, and just use equals to and lesser than sign here, and the curly braces. So this is a arrow function. Why we call it arrow function? Because there is a this sign that we have made using equal and lesser than, so that's why we call it arrow function. So this function and this function is almost same in functionality. There's some advanced difference, like about the scoping and all. So, and also we can use a function as a value. So there is one more type of function, that's my function. You can just revisit this part, because here I'm just telling you about the different types of function and initialization. So it's also a function in initialization. So let me and it's also going to work as intended. Okay, let's see. So here we got hello. So we have three kind of function syntax for a function. The first one is the basic one that I have just told you, function, and you can it this type of function everywhere. It's not important to use arrow function and a function as a value, and it's a arrow function. Let me just write here arrow function, and let arrow. Okay, and third type is const by value. I'm just naming it. Okay, and it's simplest one, es5. So we have made three functions by using these three syntax, and these are going to work as same. Like, let me first call the simple one, then I can call arrow, and then I'm going to call by value. And let me refresh, and here you can see every function is working similarly, but only there was a difference, little bit difference. And tomorrow's assignment is going to be like, you have to use the function like these simple function to print a table of any particular numbers. Okay, so just name print table is going to name your function, and you have to somehow call this function and take input from the user number. For that, just use this, enter a number, then you have to call the parameter by using this number, and here you have to write your code here to print the table. Okay, so this is your tomorrow's assignment, and you can also check the community group to know about it. So that's enough for today. So today we covered all basic three loops, two loops over array, and also we covered the functions in all three basic syntax. And I also told you that function can accept some parameters and arguments, and also a function can return some value. And in any case you have got just confused, you can just revisit this video And also, if you're feeling like there are some concepts that are missing, so let me make you understand that it's a very brief session. We are just covering up all the essentials. And if you want to know each and everything, like everything in advance, you have to join our course. Okay, so please check, and you can get enrolled into anything that you want. And sir, you are a trainer, not Sanjay sir. Sir, you is a trainer, not Sanjay sir. I don't understand. Sanjay is my name anyways. Yes, tab 9. Use this extension. Uh, uh, Go tab NINE. Okay, and you have to uh, just visit their official documentation. It's a AI based code assistants. Okay. Yes, tomorrow is going to be last day, and tomorrow we are going to cover the topic, and we are tomorrow we are going to make a very interesting project, and the project is going to be a small game where we have to guess the number, and if we are lucky enough, we are going to win, and if the number is wrong, we are going to get lost. So I'm going to make that project tomorrow, and it's going to be a very interesting day. So please be in our tomorrow's live stream. Form validation, I don't understand, David Patel, what you are asking. Sir, take web development. Yes, I take the session, and in the session, I mostly communicate in Hindi, English both, because there we are more of like friends and like co-workers. So you can bet on me. I can lend you a job. Okay, so that's enough for today. I hope you enjoyed today's session and you learned something new. Uh, I hope I will see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we are going to make a small game. I hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.